fellas. Patrick here with Utah Pressure Washing. Long time no see. How you guys been? How's your mother? Tell her I said hi. Anyway, yeah, so truth be told, I've been spending way too much time, and truth be told, I forgot my sunglasses today like an idiot, so the sun's right in my face. But truth be told, guys, I've been spending way too much time fly fishing recently and not nearly enough time being productive. That's why you haven't seen me in a while, and I'm trying to remedy that now. So today I thought I would do a quick review on Footbridge Media. This is just my review. This is just my honest, unbiased opinion. Again, I'm not affiliated with Footbridge Media in any way other than I used to be a customer of theirs. And you know, everything in this video, like everything in every one of my videos, is just my opinion, and opinions by definition are subjective, so these opinions are my own. Your mileage may vary. So I'll just kind of give you a rundown of what my experience was like, the pros and the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'll kind of tell you who I think that Footbridge would be a good fit for and who I think Footbridge probably wouldn't be a great fit for. So hopefully that'll help somebody out that's kind of weighing their options and trying to make a decision. So if you want to make a website for your business, assuming that you don't know how to code, that you're not an HTML, expert, if you want to make your own website, you essentially have three options, really. All of your options basically fall into one of three categories. You can either make a website yourself using a web hosting service that also has like their own integrated proprietary website builder interface. This would be a service like Squarespace or Wix or WordPress. There's several of them out there, and basically how that works is, you're paying for web hosting, you pay a monthly fee. It's usually $20, $30, $40, something like that. And they'll have their own sort of proprietary website builder where you can build your own website, and they're usually very user-friendly, very easy. It's like a drag and drop sort of thing. So that's option A. Option B is you can find somebody locally or wherever, you can find a web developer and you can pay them like a one-time flat fee to build a website for you. And then option C is to go with something like Footbridge Media, which is kind of a hybrid of the two. So what services like Footbridge Media offer is they'll do web hosting, they'll design your website, and they'll provide ongoing support, and it just varies from whatever service you use, whatever package you choose, and they'll basically provide, SEO and content management, review management, they'll offer ongoing services for a monthly fee. So option A is definitely by far the least expensive option. Option B is the most expensive option up front, but in the long run will probably save you money because you're just paying a one-time flat fee. And then option C is definitely kind of in between. It's less money up front, but over the long run you're going to end up paying substantially more money than option A or option B. So I had purchased my domain, utpressurewash.com. I purchased that, and I hadn't really done much with it. I think at one time I had like just a very rudimentary landing page. But I never really prioritized a website all that much because it just didn't seem like that's the way the industry was going. I think nowadays Google My Business is how a lot of people will find you and find home services and a lot of things. I don't think there are a ton of people like searching on Google and then actually clicking on individual websites and checking them out. I think people are, searching on Google, and then that Google My Business list comes up and they're kind of contacting people based on that. So I decided to give them a try. One, because it was during a time of the year where I was super busy and I really didn't want to dedicate like a half a day to building my own website. And two, frankly, I was just kind of curious. So I signed up with Footbridge. I went through their onboarding process. Their onboarding process is very streamlined, very simple, very easy. I was very impressed with it. Went through all that, submitted everything they needed me to submit, and at the end of that process, they tell you, okay, you know, it'll be, if I remember correctly, they tell you it's going to be like 6 to 8 weeks before your website is up and live. Okay, so I kind of brushed that off, put it aside, forgot about it, and sure enough, right at about the 8-week mark, my website went live. Now, you know, at this point, we're 2 months in. The package that I signed up for was $200 a month. So now I'm into this $400, and my website went live, and I looked at it, and it was fine. I was happy with it. When I first looked at it, it didn't strike me as anything that I couldn't have done myself. I didn't see any sort of proprietary or novel functionality or anything that was like super special or like blew my mind, but I didn't expect that, and it was fine. It was clean, it functioned well, it looked professional, you know, it kind of hit all the targets. Fine, great, okay, so I was happy with it. So I kind of just let that go on autopilot and went about my business. So I think it was probably about 6 or 7 months in now, and we were kind of coming into our slow season, and like a lot of you know, when we're really busy and business is really good and money's coming in, we don't scrutinize and look at our books quite as closely as we do when things slow down. You know, in a perfect world, we would be keeping close tabs on our numbers and our books year round, but you know, let's be honest, the way it works out is we scrutinize our books and look at our numbers much more closely when things are slow. So things slowed down a little bit, and I was looking at my numbers and my books, and the Footbridge Media subscription fee had been debited. It was like $200, and when I looked at it, I kind of just, this light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, what exactly am I paying for at this point? Well, I couldn't really put my finger on it. Like, I'm still paying $200 a month. The website was built months ago. That's done. That's over with. But I'm still paying this monthly retainer fee, basically, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm getting in exchange for it now. And so I wanted, you know, but I did that, but it also occurred to me, well, maybe there's things that going on behind the scenes that I don't realize are going on. Maybe there are services or features that they offer that I'm not taking advantage of. You know, maybe I didn't automatically assume like, hey, these guys are trying to rip me off. I thought, oh, maybe there's something I'm missing here. So in the interest of being fair and prudent, I scheduled a phone call with my account manager over there, and a couple days later she called me, and we had a nice conversation, and I basically laid out what I just laid out to you. I tried to do it very politely, you know, and not in a condescending way, but it was kind of interesting. We get on the call, and I kind of start explaining this, and I told her, I said, you know, I want to preface this by letting you know that, you know, I'm asking this question in good faith. I'm not trying to be condescending or combative. This isn't like a gotcha question. And she cut me off at the pass, and she goes, you want to know what you're still paying for, right? I was like, well, yeah. So that tells me that's a common question they get, and I'm not the first one that it occurred to. So she starts rattling off all these things. She said, well, we provide web hosting first and foremost, and I interrupted her, which I shouldn't have done, but I interrupted her. I said, okay, but you know, web hosting, that's $20 or $30 a month. And then she said, well, hold on, let me finish. Okay, fair enough. And then she rattled off all these other things that were sort of either too vague and too nebulous to really mean anything to me, or things that I could easily do myself for free. So, like for example, she said, well, we have our review management system where we manage your reviews and stuff. Basically what that is they will send automated emails out to your customers, your past customers, and try to get them to leave you Google reviews, which is great. But here's the thing with that is, And I mean, most, if not all, CRMs have that functionality already in them. So, you know, and if you're to the point where you're paying $200 a month for a website, you probably have a CRM, and you probably already have that functionality in your CRM that you're paying 40 or 50 bucks a month for. Like, okay, well, yeah, that doesn't really mean anything to me. And then what else did she say? She said, well, you get, she said, we manage your Google My Business profile. And then she kind of started rattling off some other stuff, and I had to stop her. I said, well, what do you mean you manage my Google My Business profile? I created my Google My Business profile. I manage it. Any updates that are ever made to it are ones that I do. She goes, well, yeah, but you know, let's say your business changes address. We would handle that. We would handle changing that with in your Google My Business. And I said, well, okay, but if my business address ever changed, I could just go on Google My Business, and in 2 minutes I could just change the address myself. It would actually take more time and be more convoluted than for me to put in a request with you to log into my Google My Business account to change. It's like, okay, well, that, you know, so it's like, okay. And she rattled off some other stuff, and it was, the thing that struck me is she had a hard time articulating in any really concrete way what exactly it was I was paying for. Like I said, either the features were too vague or too nebulous to really put your finger on exactly what it was, or it was very basic things that you or I or anybody could easily do themselves for free just as fast as you could having Footbridge do it for you. Okay, so we ended our call, you know, thank you very much. I kind of mulled it over for a night, and I decided that I was going to cancel my service. It just did not make sense for me to continue paying $200 a month for this. So I emailed my account manager the next day. I said, thank you very much. You know, I'm thinking about it. I'm going to cancel my service. Now, this was on the 3rd of the month, and the subscription renews on the 5th of the month every month. So every month you get, you know, auto debited the $200 or however much you're paying. So I sent her that email on the 3rd, like at noon or something like that. And within a few minutes, she responded back and said, okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Best of luck. And then almost immediately, my website was taken down, which kind of irritated me. It left a bad taste in my mouth, because it's like, well, I still have 2 days left on my subscription. I still have 2 days left that I've paid for. So my website shouldn't come down immediately. So I emailed them, and I was a little irritated, and I said, you know, hey, I've still got 2 days left on my subscription, so you guys need to either reinstate my website for the remaining 2 days, or I need a prorated refund. So they sent me a prorated refund, whatever, a few dollars, not a big deal. It's more of the principle. The thing that kind of irritated me about that whole thing, that really left a bad taste in my mouth, is that anytime I would submit something to them to have updated on the website, photos from projects or whatever, it would take anywhere from like 3 or 4 days to a week to finally get that implemented, you know, which is fine. But it's interesting that as soon as I notify them that I'm no longer going to be paying them, they're Johnny on the spot with getting that website down. There seems to be no shortage in resources to get that website taken down. But when it comes to actually like dedicating the resources to providing the service that I'm paying for, it's, you know, there's some feet dragging going on. So to me, that just didn't, that rubbed me the wrong way. It should be the other way around, okay? You should be Johnny on the spot and dedicate a lot of resources to actually providing the service that your customers are paying for, and not so much to taking their website down. So that left a bad taste in my mouth. You know, another thing that I wasn't super impressed with is the copy on the website, you know, the actual blurbs and stuff that they write on the homepage. It had a very unnatural feel to it. It didn't seem to me, at least, like it was actually written by a human being. It seemed like they were using ChatGPT or Jasper AI or some kind of like either AI, or they just had like pre-made templates that they could plug your business name into on there. It just didn't seem natural, and it was very obvious that what they were doing was they were trying to jam a bunch of keywords in there, which I can understand that, you know, that's an SEO strategy, but it was a little over the top, you know. It was like, you know, I live in like the Ogden, Utah metropolitan area, so, you know, the copy on the front page was like, if you're looking for a pressure washer in Ogden, Utah, and you live in Ogden, Utah, and you need pressure washing, then this pressure washing company in Ogden, Utah will meet your Ogden, Utah pressure washing. It's like they're just trying to like unnaturally jam these keywords in there, and it came off as very obvious that's what they were doing. It didn't read well. It wasn't natural. You know, which that didn't really bother me all that much, because I mean, let's be honest, I don't think anybody is going to your website and reading you know, every word of copy that's on your website. And so I get that, you know, the strategy is to try to really optimize the content of your website, not so much for a consumer to read it, but for search engine optimization. So I get that. And you know, I'm not an SEO expert by any stretch, and I've read that keyword, that kind of, they call it like keyword jamming, that's an effective strategy. It's from some people, but I've also read other sources that have said that that at this point now, you know, that at one time that was an effective strategy, but it's kind of antiquated now, because oh gosh, I keep missing this turn. Because at this point, the Google algorithm has become so sophisticated that it can actually detect when you're keyword jamming, and then it can actually hurt you. I don't know which one is true. I'm not well versed enough to know that, but so just take that for what it is. So yeah, so you know, those are the cons. You know, the pros were, like I said, the onboarding process was very simple. It was very hands-off. I didn't have to, you know, spend a lot of time once the website was up. You know, it was automated. I will say that everyone that I spoke to or dealt with at Footbridge was very friendly, very professional, very affable, and I appreciate that. You know, they seem like a very nice group of people over there. So yeah, you know, it wasn't all good, it wasn't all bad. If I had to give Footbridge Media a letter grade, I'd probably give them a C-. You know, meh. So I'll tell you who I think, after kind of thinking about it, who I think that Footbridge would be a good fit for, and who I don't think they would be a very good fit for. I think they would be a good fit for you if you are very tech unsavvy. Okay, if you are not very good with computers, if you don't think that you would be able to make your own website using, you know, one of these sort of drag and drop website builders, and or if you are someone that is just so busy that you don't want to take the time to do that, and or if, you know, your business is big enough and making enough money where $200 a month is just an inconsequential amount of money, and you know, the whatever nominal amount of time you save building and sort of maintaining your website is worth more to you than the $200 a month, then Footbridge is a good option for you. They, like I said, they did a good job with the website. The people were nice and easy to deal with, and so, you know, if that's you, I would say go with Footbridge. That would be a good option for you. Here's who I don't think Footbridge is a good fit for. It wasn't a good fit for me, and here's why. So if you're like me, it won't be a good fit for you. If you are someone that is somewhat tech savvy, I don't mean you have to be, you know, a guru or have a degree in computer science, but if you're someone that grew up using the internet and you have sort of a basic knowledge of how that stuff works, then Footbridge is probably not for you, because lot of the stuff you're paying them to do is stuff that you could very easily and very quickly do yourself. If you're someone that has a business that has a little bit of feast and famine going on, where, you know, there are certain times of the year where that extra $200 a month might sting a little bit, and where there are slow times of the year where you do have more time than money, then Footbridge is probably not a good option for you. So that's my take, that's my 2 cents. Yeah, not great, not horrible, meh. So let me know what you guys think. Leave me any questions you have down in the comments. I'll try really hard to answer any questions you might have. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna go try to get some work done. Try to drum up a little cheddar. So I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, Future Patrick here. I need to make a little addendum. So I recorded that first part this morning as I was driving to my first job. And while I was at the job today, I remembered something that I had forgotten or had slipped my mind, and I didn't include initially, that I think is really important. So when I canceled my subscription with Footbridge, and I told you they took the website down 2 days early, and I was irritated about that. They did issue me a refund, like a 2-day prorated refund, which I think I mentioned. The part that I forgot to mention, but I do think is important, is that next day after they'd issued me a refund, somebody from their billing department actually called me and basically said, hey, I've reinstated your website. Let's just leave it up for a week or two just so we can end this on a good note, which I really appreciated and I thought was a really decent thing to do. And so I feel like I would be being dishonest, or I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. That's really important. So I did appreciate them doing that. They did leave it up for like a week or two, like they said, which was nice of them. They didn't have to do that, and so yeah, that's important. But I think it's in line with everything I said about Footbridge before, whereas, you know, their customer service was fine. You know, everyone I talked to over there at various times was always helpful and friendly, and no problem with their customer support or customer service. A plus there. It's just I guess my biggest gripe with them is that I don't think their pricing structure really makes sense. It's not really coherent, and what you're getting, there's an incongruity between how much you're paying and what you're getting in return, if that makes sense. So, but, you know, who am I? You know, what do I know? That's just my opinion. So anyway, wanted to include that. All right, later.